Hey there, welcome back to the table. So I am more refreshed with a good night's sleep, and I did some studying of the bot actions here. So let's say I declare war on Scotland and France joins the war. Right here, under attack by enemies or rebels. It has a subnote 1, and I need to put this up here. Subnote 1, bot is considered under attack if enemy units or rebels are present in any area with the bot's towns, or if enemies or rebels occupy any of the bot's towns. So, the reason this is important is because if I declare war on Scotland, France will declare war on me, very likely. And the question is will they generate armies and start sieging down our cities? And the answer is no. They would only go there if they draw a military card, which I do run the risk of having happen. Um, so far, they've only drawn one card. Uh, the other aspect to this is because you can see I'm already full up on my military. Um, what I can do is I can delay one more turn. So by delaying one more turn, that'll allow France to spend some more cubes, and that'll be less of a chance of them attacking me. And the way I would do that is I would do my national focus, and I would move one cube over to each to the military so I can have more military strength. So that's what I'm going to do. Um, Now, I technically did this quest, so Dominate British Isles would be available. And there it is. Dominate, own, or vassalize Scotland. So that's what we're going to try to do, but we're going to wait until the next round. So let's go. Austria is going to do an event. So we're going to grab their token, move it up, roll a die. 4 means they're going to do an opponent's event. They have their own, and since there's no opponent out there, they will grab the leftmost one, which turns out to be their own. So bots always choose A if it's theirs. Insist on restoring the Union. Austria is going to gain a point and a claim in both Royal Hungary and the Hungarian Plain. They're going to flip all marriage to the fire side, and they're going to gain a cube. And they also kill a cardinal. Alright, so they gain a point. They're going to remove a cardinal. They're going to gain a cube. And the marriage flips. And they get 2 claims. One on Hungarian Plain and one on Royal Hungary. Okay. That was Austria. Then we gotta grab some money here. Move these over. Next one out is Unhappy Artisans. Okay, this is not a fun one, by the way. There's an unhappy noble ones. It's not fun either. But okay. So they already took their event. They're done. Next, we move to Poland. They are going to do diplomacy. And the diplomacy card is going to go away. Alright, so Poland has 2 cubes in Lithuania and a marriage, so their diplomacy will for sure be there. So, basically, they're going to add cubes. I always get it backwards a little bit, but see, all of these go up this path. If they have a marriage and a thing, they only need higher tax. Everywhere else, they need double. And then if it's just 2 cubes, they're going to try an alliance. So that's the case here. It's a marriage. Marriages doesn't matter unless it's also with an alliance. So 2 cubes is the primary factor. We're going to select Lithuania. There's an alliance going to happen, and they're going to add a cube, and then they're done. Okay, so I'm going to get an alliance token out, plop that on there, And they gain one more cube. And they're done. Okay, now we go to Muscovy. They will do unrest. I don't think they have any. They do. Nope. They already removed the unrest there. So they will focus eco. So this comes over, and then economics gets a focus. Alright, I believe this is Denmark. You can see they already spent more cubes than they have. So, oh yeah, because they annexed. So Denmark is going to do an event. So they are also coming up. I'm going to roll a die. They rolled a 5, which means they're going to try to do their own. And since they can't, they're going to take the leftmost one. So this will give them a cube. Move these down. More money comes out. Alright, so death of Charles the Bold. I'm glad we didn't declare war because attrition is going to happen. All PRs adjacent to Burgundy, except you, gain 1. Now this is Denmark. So what's interesting here is Burgundy is an area. It's also a realm. How do I know which one that's referring to? Is that the area or the realm? Oh, great question. They have like a explanation up front. So like when we get into realm, that doesn't explain it. It would be in context of event cards. It might be... interesting. Okay, I couldn't find it in the rulebook, but I do remember talking about it on the Discord channel, and I just had to look at the previous card to see the perfect example. Areas are in all capital letters. So see this Royal Hungary and Hungarian Plain? Those are the names of the area. So over here we have a situation where we have a country called a realm that's called Burgundy, and then we have a area called Burgundy. So they're both Burgundy. So which one are they referring to? Well, it would have to be all caps if it was the area. This is not all caps, so it just means adjacent to the realm. So that resolves that. So what that means is that we are adjacent to them. So is France, and so is Austria. And Venice is not. No, Venice is, because this is Burgundy here, and that's adjacent to Venice. So all of us get a cube. I will determine later where I want this cube to be, but I'm just going to give it to my diplomacy for now. It's too much thought process at the moment, and I think it's actually a critical decision for me. I got to make sure I have enough cubes to siege Scotland. Okay, so we do that. We got one there. France gets one. And then we said Venice will get one. Okay, so that's that piece. And then it says they will always choose A unless it's an opponent's one. And who's doing this? This is Denmark, of all people. If you have any cubes in Burgundian areas, gain a marriage with Burgundy and place 3 cubes in their area. So this is not going to do squat for them. Nope. So nothing happens for Denmark. So when nothing happens for them, they gain a cube. That's just part of the bot rules. So they get a cube for that. Alright, so now we're going to keep going. This time, this is the Mamelukes. And we drew a naval card. Very interesting for them to get a navy going. So we're going to grab a ship because Navy always produces one. And that ship will go... You can see they already have one in the Eastern Mediterranean. They prefer to go somewhere where they have a port. So you can see all their ports are here in the Eastern Mediterranean, but they also have one port here in the Central. So that's where their next one will go. And technically their ship should be here on one of these shadows. So they will take a spot in the Central Mediterranean. So now they actually have reached to the Genoa trade province. So very cool for them. There's no pirates. The next check is, do they have pirates? So since they don't have pirates, they will do a trade, and we all get to use it. So Bordeaux is the first one. Let's resolve them one at a time. Bordeaux can be done by France, and actually we get to use it because we have ships that go there, and technically Spain can use it as well. So it would be 2 cubes for France, 2 cubes for Spain. And let's get this guy out of the way. Alright, and then that's 2 points for the Mamluks. They're on the board. 2 points because I get to use the trade node. So I don't have any of these cities. I have 1 ship and 1 merchant. So I think I'm going to get a whopping 4 ducats out of that. Yep, 1 ship, 1 merchant. Or no, I might actually have Bordeaux. Let me check. Was Bordeaux one of the ones listed? It was. So I move up to 3. I get 7. Huzzah. I never use that term. My buddy does, though. Feels weird to use it. I've used it twice in the last 2 days. Alright, there you go. I got 7 ducats. That was very much needed. I'm so happy to give them 2 points for that. Oh, let's keep going. I'm not done. Saxony is next, and then Genoa. Alright, so Saxony is here, and you need a town next to Saxony, and nobody has a town here. So Saxony is not going to do anything. And then Genoa would be France or Spain, but they can't do 2 places at once. However, we just said that these guys can, so they will. They will move their merchant over to here, and they have ships that go back, so they get 2 cubes themselves. And there she be. Naval action. That was very successful for them. Alright, then we move to Venice. A very interesting one. So Venice gets a military cube. They discard a card. And they're going to do something military-wise. I gotta figure it out here. First thing they do is they check their claims. And I don't believe they have a claim anywhere. So that part's okay. I do need to remember they have an alliance with Albania here. But what they are going to do is the next thing they do is they see battleground states, which there's plenty of. So they currently have this one. And they currently are in this one, and they're going to attack an adjacent one. So that could be Burgundy over here, Central Italy over here. And this is crazy, but the Central Italy one makes more thematic sense for them than Burgundy. So if you're following the rules to the letter, Burgundy begins with a B, so they should attack Burgundy. I guess they could. I just don't... I'm not a big fan of it. So here, let's resolve this a little more intelligently. Let's look at their military chart. So Ragusa is one of their targets. Albania, Milano, and Ferrara. those are the 4 targets that they primarily want to go after. So Ragusa is here. That's off the list. Milano is here. That's technically on the list, but they already have a presence in that battleground, so they don't necessarily... They want adjacent. Ferrara is right here. And that's perfectly lined up in a zone. So I'm going to break the rules, which I don't think is breaking per se, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna change it to go here. So this is not color coordinated, as you can tell. So what I do is I put these little chits on them to designate that this is a claim for Venice, and they're going to declare war. I mean, that's just the way the bots work. They do everything all in one action. So they will spend a cube, just 1 cube, to recruit. So they're up to 4, and they will declare war. That's the other thing too, is Burgundy was too large of a target, to be quite honest. They would have had to do battle against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 armies, and they only have 4. So that's actually a tall order for Venice. This one's a little bit more manageable for them. And yeah, they will recruit, and then they march in. Now, technically, they have an ally, but they don't have 2 cubes there, so I don't think they can call them to war. And it's a 1-2 province area that they are at war with, so they're going to roll 2 dice. 1, 2. Alright, so there's 1 hit on Venice. So they lose 1 troop, and they'll be able to siege next round. Alright, now we go to the Ottomans. They are also doing a military action. Well, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. They are also doing a military action. So this military action, for them, they do have a claim. Claim 1. Here. They are already at war there. So that one's already resolved. Yeah, they're going to possibly go to war with somebody else now. Interesting. Alright. I never had this happen to me before. I'm going to roll this. We got ourselves a 3. That doesn't match the claim. So I'm going to roll again. And we got a 1. So we come over here. We look at the Ottoman bot. A 1 is Constantinople. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, and 3 is Constantinople. So, okay, they declare war on them. So I'll go ahead and drop that there. They already have an army on the board. They would not recruit because they already have double the strength of Constantinople. And since the army's already on the board, they will just march right in. So they will fight a strength 2, Constantinople, but they also add any adjacent. So this is 3 and that's 4. So they're going to fight against 4 troops. 2 of them hit. So 2 lost, but they are defeated. Okay, now we go to France. France is technically not at war with anybody yet. They're going to do a diplomacy and spend 3 of their glorious cubes, which is good because they gained 2. So they still have quite a few, but they're going to spend 3. They're going to do a diplomacy. They have an alliance with Provence, and they have 2 cubes in Provence. So they need a 3rd cube to be able to absorb them. They have the tax base, but they don't have that. So they're going to go ahead and roll. A 5 or a 6 is going to be a marriage. So they're going to gain a marriage with Provence. And then they also gain 2 cubes, which they will put on province. Okay, so now next time they'll be able to absorb, because Anjou and province are together. So this is a 3 tax base area. Okay, Castile. Okay, Castile is going to do an idea. 1, 2, and 3. I will roll 2 dice. This means it's going to be an admin idea and I think tolerance. So, yep, 1 and 1. So we're going to do tolerance. That's 2 points for Castile. They are just the idea king right now. Okay, it's back to us. So it's do or die time. We got to declare war and hope France doesn't get stinky with us. I am going to put this extra cube over on the military side. So I will. I am declaring war on Scotland. There's no ships in any of these areas, so there's no battle triggered. So I will get a free move action, and I'm going to move in. I do lose my 2 cubes that are there. And then we just got to see if France is going to join, and I'm pretty sure they will. Call to arms. A bot will always accept a defensive call to arms unless it's already at war. So France will accept the call to arms, so we are at war with France. And at war with Scotland. Okay, I'm going to march in. I'm up against 4 units. I'm very close to getting this, but not quite. So I'm up against 4 units. I have to draw, if you have 3 or more, got to draw to see if they get a general, and they do. Those jerks. So they're going to roll 2 cavalry dice. The only good news there is they only have infantry, so cavalry dice are largely cavalry. But we roll first. I am going to use my general, who is just a wimpy 1. But that's still something. So I'm going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4 against them. They have 4 units. I'm not going to bother getting them out. We're just going to keep track. They have 4. And then, of course, I have my army. And I do have a cavalry. So let's roll. 1, 2. We hit 3 of the 4. This one is a miss. So that's great. There's only 1 of them left. But now they get to roll 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. So let's roll for them. And they got 1 single hit. Because remember, they don't have any of this other stuff. So the general actually gave them that hit. Otherwise, we would have been doing great. So we lost 1 unit. I think we're doing fantastic so far. So we're going to roll. Oh my gosh. We did kill them off. Now they get to do 3 and 2. Remember, they only have 1 unit left, so they're only going to be able to do 1 hit no matter what they roll. And I'm going to assume... Yep. So they do their 1 hit, so we lose 1 more infantry. I think that was a very successful run. And, yeah, they're done. We got them. So we got to siege them down next round. That will cost us 4 cubes. And we win the battle, so we get a cube back. So 4 of our 5 cubes will be spent sieging down Scotland. Okay, I think a defensive call to arms does not require cubes. The bot gains 2 and flips for each such NPR ally. That's for an NPR. That's not... This is the case where an NPR is asking them to join. France does gain a cube. And if they have any available manpower, they immediately spend that cube to recruit. So let's check out what France is doing here. So they gain a cube, but they're going to spend that cube to recruit. So they do have a very substantial army. I just gotta pray they don't draw a military card. Okay, that was our turn. Now we move to Austria, who has 1,000,000 cubes still. They have an unrest, which I don't think they're gonna do, because they don't have any unrest. So they're gonna do focus politics. Let's get rid of the card first. So we'll do focus politics. So one of these goes there. Next, Poland still has a lot of cubes left. They're going to do an event. These events are pretty crappy that are out there right now, so I'm very happy that they're taking the events instead of me. Now, in the rulebook, there is a variant rule where you can play with 4 cards available. And so we're going to do that. Okay, so they drew a 3, which means they just draw the third one. And, where is it say rightmost? I'm pretty sure it says third from the left. Of course, I decided to use the variant rule, and then all of a sudden... And the reason I'm choosing that to reveal 4 is because if you're doing a 10-player game, there's like 10 cards in that event deck. So it is beneficial to be able to see. Pick rightmost revealed event. Okay, so second from left, and then rightmost. So by doing that and revealing this extra card, they are going to pick the rightmost. That's fine. They're picking Spain's, and whose turn is this? This is Poland. So they're going to take Spain's card. And the other cool thing about it is it puts more money on the game. I'm always a fan of that. And there's a Russian one. Okay, so they will pick the Spain one, and they will choose B. Castile's going to lose a point and discard 2 cubes from Aragon. Let's resolve that right now. They lose 1 point. They lose these 2 cubes. But gains 1 stability and 1 cube in Portugal. And you gain 1 diplomacy. Don't spend it all in one place, Poland. Alright, so they're going to gain a cube in Portugal, which actually makes it harder for us to annex Portugal. And the stability for them is remove an unrest, which they don't have any. So neener neener, nothing happens for them. So that really hurts Spain. Okay, next we go to Muscovy. 4, 5, they're going to draw. Their last card was not a military. Okay, they're going to do... Technically they're at war, but they already defeated their person, so we're going to do diplomacy. So what do they do with their diplomacy? They have no cubes anywhere. They have 1, but they need at least 2 to do anything reasonable. So we're going to roll on their diplomatic chart, and we get a 2. So a 2 for them on the diplomatic chart is Vologda. So let's check that out. That's here. They already have it. So we're going to roll again. Now they got a 6. So following the rabbit hole, they went to here, and then a 6 takes them to Moscow and Ryazan. Which is funny, because that's the area that they're currently at war in. But there are 2 other realms still here. So I believe what they do is they're going to add 2 cubes or 4 cubes. So we do the diplomatic chart. Or no, they're not even going to do that. They're going to just say... they're going to add 2 cubes and then do an alliance, which will do a 3rd. So that's exactly what's going to happen. 1, 2, 3. 3 cubes goes on, and they're going to do an alliance with one of these. R before T. Okay. Next we have Denmark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 5. So one more action. They have unrest or focus. I don't think they have any unrest over here. So they will focus politics. And they're going to lose a card. One of these cards goes out. That's a subjugate. Okay, Mamluks. They're going to convert or focus politics. This is interesting. I never checked. They have Muslim, Muslim, Muslim. I guess this area is Muslim. Oh, yeah, it's for both. So they don't need to convert anything. So what they'll do instead is they're going to focus politics. And then the card's out. Venice. They're at war. Yeah, because I got to remember, there's some people that need to... they shouldn't be taking their turn. They should be... Venice, I guess, is the only one at the moment. I thought for sure there were other people that needed to be sieging down their provinces. Constantinople does, so they're next. Okay, so Venice, I'm going to move this token out of the way. They need to siege down 2 provinces. So we're going to take 1, 2, and then grab 2 of these, flip them over, and I know they're white. We'll put that on for now. So they successfully did their part. Then after Venice, we go to the Ottomans, who are going to have to siege Constantinople, which costs 2 cubes, because it's a large town. And we get a large city out. Put that on. Now, there's still 3 cubes left. It's possible they may try to go into here, but I doubt it. France, they are now at war with me, but they are not defending, because I'm not in their area. So they're just going to draw a card. And they're going to take their event, which is a little dangerous, because they don't spend any cubes doing this. Oh, I just flipped. I didn't roll. Alright, a 5 means they're going to take their own event. Otherwise, they're going to take the leftmost. So they get another cube, which is horrible, because we want them to be out of cubes. But everything else comes down. Okay, so let's do... So they will always pick A. They're going to press a claim. Gain 1 cube and place a claim in any area adjacent to your realm. And lose 3 cubes from that area or areas adjacent to it. Alright, so they're going to gain 2 cubes. 1 from the card. The other because there was money on the card. Okay, I'm going to roll to see where they press their claim. So we're just going to roll this die and open this up. Go to France. So military-wise, I rolled a 5, which is Brittany and Normandy. They already have a claim there. So this would allow them to create a claim, right? So I'm going to assume that they're going to go somewhere else. So they already have a claim in Aquitaine. Burgundy is the only one that doesn't, of the top 3 priorities. So I'm just going to stop rolling. They basically get a claim in Burgundy. See, they already have one here. They already have one here. And this is not asking them to go to war. It's just giving them an extra claim. Alright, so ships at sea get lost. I don't think there's anybody who has a ship that's not adjacent to a port. Oh, actually, no. These guys are still adjacent to a port. We're all adjacent to ports. Everybody is. Okay, so nothing happens there. And then triangles get sick, and of course that only hurts me. I have a plus and 2 squares, so we're good. Alright, so France is done with their event. Alright, then we go to Castile. They have less cubes, so they will take their event. So the events are going to start popping off here. This 4 means they're going to take an opponent's event. And they have 2 choices. They're not at war with either of them. So they'll take the one with the money, which is Russia. That adds more money on these other ones. There's still 2 cards left. Alright, so let's give them their money first. They chose an opponent one, so they will always choose B. If Constantinople is owned by a non-Orthodox realm, technically it's not owned, it's occupied. They can pay 1 to gain a claim or add 2. They place an extra manpower in Constantinople if Byzantium is an NPR. You gain 1. So they're going to gain another cube. And this is what hurts. So Constantinople gets another +1 manpower, but it's currently occupied, so it's pointless. That would have made a harder battle for the Ottomans, who still would have won, but okay. So that is done. It is back to us. So for us, we got an easy action here. We're going to... I can't select because my card's underneath. So I have to do one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got plenty of troops to pull this off. We're going to take 4 towns and plop them in. Alright, so we now possess or control Scotland. Okay, that's well done. Now we go to Austria. Still has a lot of cubes left. They can't convert, so they're going to focus. And that costs them a cube. And they're going to gain 2 cubes because they're completing a politics item. So we're going to grab this. We're going to go up to politics, and that's the 2 cubes they gain. They're getting 5 points. Boom. Poland, 1,000,000 cubes left. They are going to focus war. Or can they convert? I don't think they can. Not yet. They're going to focus war. So that means this is gone. Moscow's down to 2 cubes. I think they're going to do an event if they haven't already done one. They haven't, so they will do their event. They rolled a 2, which means they're taking this one. That gives them a cube. Why they would take that event, I have no idea. It's a horrible event. So it's called revolts. They're going to gain a cube. Choose an area where they have a town without unrest and another area adjacent to it. Add unrest to 2 towns in each area. One of those must be your own, and then they're going to roll rebel dice and circles get hurt. So let's give them their cube first. They try to maximize damage to other people. They can't. So they're going to choose their lowest tax area, which is here, Moscow. Actually, Vologda is lower. And so they're going to add 2 unrest, and then they could just choose an area that doesn't have towns after that. So I do have this image. It's actually an image of a dog I had 10 years ago in her kennel. So you know, she looks like she's imprisoned. So that was my my rebel. Maybe I should put that on the back of the other ones. Um, anyways, uh, so those are under unrest. Yeah, that's it. Now we got to do circles get sick. I have a circle, I believe. Nope, I have two squares and a plus. I'm getting lucky so far. Okay, so no damage there. And then we got to roll rebel dice. So there's two dice for Moscow. The one thing about having all these extra bots is this phase right here is painful. Okay, so they lose a cube. And this is something I've been getting wrong, and somebody corrected. I know I mentioned this already, but when there's a rebellion on a town, it just becomes a rebel town. I don't also place a rebel army. So the rebel army gets placed only if we had an army there, and then they would have done battle. Or if the town was already a rebel, then an army would get produced. So in this case, it's just a rebel town. So when they come and fight it, they're not fighting two rebels, they're only going to fight one. And so that does make it a little less painful. For me as well. So this works both ways. Okay, let's keep going for the unrest. I have 4, so I got to deal with that. And my biggest thing is I just don't want to lose a lot of cubes. So I got 2 rebellions. I lose 1 cube, and one of them gets to flip for me. So I'm happy to have 1 flip. I do lose a cube. I'm going to choose the admin. And I have 2 rebellions, which means I have to do a battle against 2 units. Oh, speaking of which, I just sieged 2 provinces in enemy lands. Successfully siege 2 provinces on the same turn. I just did that. So I score 3 points and I get 5 ducats. The 5 ducats is the big win there. And look at this. It's like a Tower of Pisa over here. So I'm at 16 ducats. I'm going to remove 10 and add a... There we go. Not so bad. Alright, I got to resolve this battle. So I get to roll... I'm going to take my general. I'm going to get to roll 4 dice. I'm up against 2 dudes. I killed them both. They're going to roll 3. They could at most hit me twice, and they do. So I lose 2. Not fun, but I beat them back. And being able to flip one of these is perfect, because I have 1 cube. I will flip the other one, and then when I remove my claim, I'm going to flip the last 2. I do have the War of the Roses coming, so it'd be nice to not have any unrest in Scotland. Okay, France has 2 unrest. Castile has none. There's 2 over here. Yeah, we got some more to deal with. So let's do France. They lose a cube, which is good. That's what we wanted. There is unrest for 2 here in Venice. Venice is going to lose a cube. Mamelukes have 2. They have to do battle. Mamelukes lose 2. And the Ottomans, they have at least, yeah, they got unrest here and an unrest here, so they got 2 as well. Alright, so this is where it gets really interesting for the Ottomans. They lose a cube. Their army is here. They gain an unrest and they would choose their lowest tax area. This is Constantinople. But this Kastamonu is still occupied. So they actually lose Kastamonu and it gets liberated. That's insanity. Um, but that's what happens. Now, like if I were the bot, I would have chosen that the revolution occurred here. But here's the thing: when we're playing, we have to roll per area. So the revolution would occur in this area if I was rolling for that area. Because the bots roll for all their areas, they do this tax decision thing. And so that caused them to lose their town. Now, don't feel too sorry for them. They cheat all the time. So this is the one time where it backfires on them. So it's intentional to balance this thing out. And it sort of works. It really does. Okay, I think I covered everybody. If I didn't, I apologize. Oh no, Moscow gets one. Nope, they don't have any unrest. Well, we started with them. In fact, this was their event, so they are done. Then we go to Denmark, who I think is going to pass. Yes, they are the first to pass, so they will get 2 cubes. Then we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7. They will do diplomacy. One of these goes away. Alright, so for them, diplomacy is pretty simple. They have 2 cubes here. And so they're going to try to influence this area. And they do have double the tax income. And so I believe they're going to annex. Or make an alliance. Let's go. So they have the 2 cubes. We select them. It's as simple. Do they make an alliance? Yes. Make an alliance and close it out. So no annexing happening until there's an alliance first. So grab an alliance token, and we're going to put it on the larger of the 2. So Caraman. And they have an alliance. I'll put their little cube on. Like so. And they get another one. They're getting powerful, those bots. I haven't scored a lot of points, but they're getting powerful. The Ottomans. They are at war. I think because they're down to 2 cubes, they don't do anything now. They're not considered under attack, even though they liberated themselves. So you go down to here, they're at war, and they don't have 4 cubes left, so they're going to pick an event or drop out. So I just got to check real quick. They still haven't picked an event, so they will do that right now. So here we go. They pick a 5, which means they're going to pick their own event, which happens to be right here. And this is the last one. This is the fake one I was telling you about, right? We had to add one. So this one is, you just get a cube for taking it. Any cube you'd like, and nothing else, plus any money that's on it, which would result in a second cube for the bots. But very cool scenario. I really want to try this sometime. It's a solo one. I keep wanting to do grand campaigns because those of you who have watched my channel, I always like going after the epic games. Otherwise, they're not worth playing. That's usually my attitude. It's also because when I play multiplayer with my real life friends, we play shorter games. So I get my fill of shorter games. And so the epic games are the ones I want to do when I'm on my own, because there's nobody else to do those with. Okay, so for here, they chose their own, so they're going to choose the first one. Ottomans may declare war on Venice. They will, which is crazy. If they do, they gain a cube. I mean, they're getting ready to pass. They don't even have enough cubes to continue. They gain a cube and a claim on Aged Archipelago, and the Papal Controller may pay 1 to call a crusade in the Ottoman area, and they gain another cube, which that does help them. So yeah, they declare war on Venice, and I'm not gonna, I guess I should. A Venice war token goes on them. Okay, so that happened. They gain a claim in the archipelago area. Done. And then the Castile. This happened in the last game too. They can call a crusade, and they will. So the crusade goes here in this area because that's their largest tax area that begins with an A. Um, Place a crusade token, immediately take a free declare war action, gain 1 point and 2 infantry, and place a chit on committed to crusade. So they are committed to the crusade, and instead of gaining marks, I'm just going to give them a free recruit, and they go to war. So we got another war on them. So then, going in player order, we all get to decide if we want to join them. I choose no. Denmark pass, so they can't join. Poland is, they all have to choose yes. So Spain gets a point. Poland's going to get a point. So they're joining. And we're going to just use the same. Well, they don't get to do any recruit. Moscow's not Catholic. Denmark is out. Oh, I meant to say Austria. Austria is not at war, so they're in. So they declare war as well. Poland declared war. So we'll do a free recruit for them. Oh, wrong one. Get a little chit token out. So there's 3 in there. Venice is already, well, they're at war with them now. So Venice doesn't need to make a decision. Mamluks aren't Catholic. France is already at war, so they're not going to join. It would have been really nice if this would have happened before I declared my war, but that's fine. So, oh my gosh, the Ottomans are creating all kinds of disruption. And that's it. So now pirates happen. So we're just going to go over here, grab one of these. It happens on 5, and I always go in counterclockwise order. So here's the first merchant. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's where it drops. Alright, I gotta pause. I will be right back. Okay, so now the moment of truth. France's turn. They are at war with us, but they still just draw a card. And there we go. Burn those cubes, Frenchie. Alright, they still got a lot left. Alright, they're gonna spy. They're at war with me, so the spy means they're gonna cause unrest for B. So it's not perfect because they are going to harm me a little bit. Because what's going to happen is, see, I have 3 unrest, so they're going to force me to roll rebel dice again. So here we go. And here I actually get 1 improved. I pay 2 ducats, and I have another rebellion. So the 2 ducats taken care of right there. One of them actually improved, which was excellent. So now I don't even have to spend cubes to improve these during peacetime. But we do have to go to battle. And again, I will be doing 1, 2, 3, 4. I only need 1 hit. And I do get a hit, thank goodness. And they do 3, but there's only 1 of them. But they do their damage, so I lose 1 more unit. And there we go. Alright, so they are whittling me down. I mean, if I ever needed to go up against France, I can't. But I have enough army to ride the storm. As long as they don't do a military action, I'm good. Okay, so Austria, 1 million cubes still left. They are at war now with... gosh, did I put all the tokens down? They're at war. Let me just do one final check. Not Catholic. They already passed. They're already at war. They're not Catholic. Yeah, It's just these three. I don't know. They could do damage. Let's see. They have to draw a military card, though. And there it is. There's the military card. All right, so this is getting good. See, this is what I like. This game is meant to have 10 bots. It should have 15 bots, if you ask me. Because this is where they are interacting. The NPRs just sit there. That's all they do is they just sit there and throw some punches in the air whenever they get attacked. This is so much more beautiful. All right, so what are they going to do though is the question. Well, what they'll do is it's asking can they move their army into the area 2 spaces away, and the answer is no. It's 3 spaces to get to here. But it'll ask, can they add a ship? And they can. So they'll add a ship, and it goes to here. Now, it's not an Ottoman ship. This is Venice. That's Mamluks. So they add a ship, and they can march an army. The ship counts as 1 movement. They have a town here, right? So this would be all 1 movement, and they land here in 1 move. Because they're using their navy chain to get there. And the army would spawn here at Crane. And it's an unlimited MAC here. Now the army that can move through the navy, it's a minimum of 9. So I don't think we have to worry about that yet. Here's 3, 6, 7, 8 armies. So they just took 8 armies, and oh my gosh, the Crusade is actually going to beat them down. So there's no actual battle. They're going to go and they're going to siege next turn. But now the Ottomans are in defense mode. This is getting good. Oh my gosh, they're going to actually do a crusade and pull it off, I think. All right, now we move to Poland, who's also at war. And because they're at war, they're going to do the spy action. And the spy action always goes against whoever they're at war. You don't do the dice rolling thing. So it's going to be the Ottomans, and they're going to pick the highest tax area, which is what? This is 3, that's 3, this is 4. Technically, they would pick these. Well, actually, no, because now that they control Constantinople, this would be 5. So I'm just going to put all these into the Black Sea, because we know they're at war with all these people. And so we're going to flip. Now they have 1, 2, 3 unrest. So the next time that would happen, they'd have to roll unrest dice. Alright. Moscow is going to pass. Nope. They have to defend. So they're going to spend a cube. They're going to march over. They have plenty of armies. Gonna roll 1, do battle. No damage done. And then they will siege it next turn. These guys already passed. These guys either are gonna pass or do an event. I don't know which one. They are passing. Or I'm sorry, they're doing an event is what I meant to say. So we roll for them. They rolled a 1. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 is still just 1 cube for them. They get 1 cube for every 10 rounded up. That's why they always get a cube when there's money on these. So money, money, and money gets added on. So let's not forget their cube first. Then what are they doing? Unhappy artisans. Lose 1 point, then select another player to choose. So they lose a point. What player are they going to select? When they have to choose an opponent, they roll a die. 1, 2, 3 is going to be whoever has the highest score. And that's going to be Austria. So they choose Austria. They lose a stability and gain a cube. So Austria, losing a stability means they're going to gain an unrest, but they gain a cube, which they're just infinite cubes there. Their unrest would go K before S, So they would get unrest there. Then pirates come out and ships get destroyed. Now this is what's interesting. The Austrian ship gets destroyed because they are beyond their port zone because of that event. And we need to do what again? Oh, pirate ship. So let's roll. 2. I think that's going to hurt us. So the first merchant is here. Nope, second one's down here. Nope, first merchant is there. So, yep, right there in the English Channel. That hurts. Okay, that's it for them. So there's 2 events left to be taken, and it's between me and Venice. I may want to consider taking an event. This is $6 here. Then I can mess with Poland a little bit. Or I can do this one. I would gain 2 cubes in Naples. Not a big fan of that. Or I just get 2 of these and a cube. Yeah, they're not very exciting, are they? This one I would do just for the 6 ducats. I'm not going to make sure that Poland and Lithuania don't gain a alliance. But if I choose that one, I gain a cube out of the deal. I gain a cube down here as well. So, yeah, I may end up doing that. So whose turn was that? That was the Mamluks. So now we go to Venice. They're at war, but they have less than 4 cubes. So I think they're going to pass. Yes. No. They're going to take their event. Oh, they're going to beat us to it. Alright, just don't roll a 1 or a 5 or a 6 or a whatever. Got to get a 2 or a 3. There we go. They got a 2. Alright, so they're going to take this one, which is a very interesting one because this is right in their backyard. They will choose A. And then what that did for us is that gave us 2 more ducats. And I'm not even going to bother putting ducats on this one because I'm not choosing this one. And this one has no effects on the bottom, so we can just discard it. So that's good. But regarding this one, they're going to choose A, which is going to put the DNPRs out. So 1, 2, 3. So that goes there, and that goes there. So Naples basically formed a DNPR, so they're going to be able to grow and fight and all that jazz. There were no existing towns there, so none of this happens. And then Venice gains 2 cubes there, which that's the part that's very thematic. They actually they do benefit from this event. And now they have 2 cubes, can, possibly get Naples to join them in an alliance or even be annexed by them. So that's pretty cool. And nothing else happens. So Venice's turn is over. Now we have the Ottomans. They are going to defend. They do their little check-a-rooney, and I believe they're going to spend 2 cubes to recruit. Let me make sure. So they're not double. Yeah, right here. The 2 cubes. So they're going to spend 2 cubes to recruit. And get everybody back. And yes, now they march to infamy. So they're going to move 1, 2. And we got ourselves a major battle between these two. They roll 5 dice each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Ottomans attack first. 2 hits on Austria. So 2 down. Now Austria rolls. They only got 1 hit. Ooh, this is not good for Austria. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits on Austria. Oh no, the Crusades are falling apart. Austria needs a major hit here, otherwise they're getting toasted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. 4, 5 hits. They are down to 2. And they do. They do 2 hits on Austria. That does wipe Austria off the map. Austria could do 2 hits of their own. And they do. So they did mutual self-destruction. Alright, the armies do disappear. So they go off the map, and off the map, Austria did not get to siege. That was a very interesting outcome. And they gain a cube because they won the battle. No, they did not win the battle. So they don't get a cube. Okay, France. We gotta pray we don't get a military. And there it is. Oh, you jerk. Alright, so the military happens. They are at war. Yes, select an realm with the greatest strength. If army is less than 3, what's the army map on the board? I think the answer is no. Hostile area 2 spaces away. They're going to move to engage the area. Okay, so where's the greatest strength? It would be Brittany and Normandy. So even though the other one has the larger town, so they're going to come and they're going to go here. They haven't sieged yet, but they're going to next turn. And there's no actual battle because it's just us, and we're up here dealing with this nonsense. Now I do have the ability to come and face them with my army, but they have a very full army and I do not. And I'm very low on cubes, so to refresh my exhausted troops would take everything I have. Castile, they're at war, and they decide to do diplomacy. So, oh, by the way, a viewer suggested that you need to go 7 deep on these cards when you're drawing from the discard instead of 5 deep, and I think that's a great suggestion because with the number of bots, it's very possible that your card could just completely disappear before you even get a chance to take one. Okay, so we're going back here to diplomacy. Aragon is no longer a diplomacy. The Portugal is, though, so they're going to gain an alliance with Portugal, and that lets them put another cube. Alright, now we move to us. So we got ourselves a dilemma. We are going to lose these 3. France has plenty of cubes to siege it down, and that's the part that stinks. I could try to invade them, and I think I will. But here's the deal. We're going to invade them somewhere else. So that's going to force France to spend a cube to attack us somewhere else. They're going to gain a cube again to gain it back. But here's the deal. They won't go after us unless they draw another military card. So I'm basically going to sacrifice my army to save the towns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a military cube to move my army, my ragtag army, and in fact I'm going to make a second army of just 1. And I can do that. I can always split my army or whatever. I don't want to lose my cavalry. I'm going to make a second army of just 1, and they're going to go across the navy, and I'm going to go here to their capital, forcing them to move out of here, because they will defend first before they siege. Now, in the defend action, they actually roll a die to see if they siege anyways. So there is a chance they're still just going to siege, but if the dive roll goes our way, they're going to waste their cubes chasing down my piddly army. And then they need to draw another military card to come back, and I'm banking on the fact that they're just going to run out of cubes. This is a trick, but you got to do it. Alright, so that's what I did. I'm not doing my event, which Right now, I'm the only one left who can do an event, so I don't have to worry. There's no rush. So we move to Austria. Their army was wiped out. Here you can see they are going to convert or focus war. They will focus war. So I guess they're giving up on their ambitions. We go to Poland, who's also at war, and they're ignoring their ambitions. We do diplomacy. So Poland is going to try to get this going. So this is a matter of they don't have enough tax base to take this. They are dead equal. They need to be greater. So what they're going to do is they're going to add 4 cubes. To Poland. 2 of them will go in the capital. So now they got 8 cubes. They need more to even be able to annex them, but that is the right thing to do, and that is exactly what they typically do. Moscow has to use their last cube to siege the rebels away. Denmark passed. We got 8 cubes to 5. They are at war, so technically they don't pass until they're less than 4 cubes. So we draw another one. They have an unrest, which I believe they can do. So they're going to do the unrest, and that causes one of these to go away, and they're going to flip. Okay, and then Venice. Also at war, but they're down to less than 3 cards or cubes, or less than 4. They're not going to do anything. About the war at the moment. So Venice is actually passing. And in doing so, they get 2 cubes. Alright, now we go to the Ottomans, who are down to just 1 cube. There's nobody to siege or defend against, so they're going to pass. And in doing so, they gain 1 cube. France. This is the moment of truth. They're going to spend 1 to defend. And then let me show you. This is something we rarely ever trigger, but so they're defending any area with invaders. Yes. Do they have 2 cubes left and an army in an area where it can siege? The answer is yes. So now they're going to roll. And on a 1 to a 4, they're going to stay where they are and siege, which is what we don't want. On a 5 or a 6 is what we're hoping for. They're going to chase us down, and we're going to make them do cat and mouse. So we need a 5 or a 6 to stay in it. Let's go. Let's go, baby! Ah! Alright, they're going to stay in siege. So they will spend 3 cubes. And we just got rocked. We lost 3 of our towns. I know I'm supposed to technically keep them on the board, but they're not. So 1, 2, 3 towns gone. And there's 1, 2, 3 for them. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to lose it. I mean, technically speaking, I could say no to the terms of the war, but see, they are in control because they actually have territory on us and we have none on them. So we're going to make peace with Scotland, but they're going to force peace with us and they're going to gain territory on us. Our only hope is that they, because they don't control the area, they're not going to get to put a core here. So our only hope is that rebels take this back. Okay, so they are down to 1 cube though, so I don't have to worry about Scotland at all. We come over here. They do war. So here we go. Military's happening. Now, their situation's a little bit worse. They're going to try to put a ship down, but they can only get this far. And then the best they can do with their army is they do get to move 4 spaces. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to end up here. 1 space or 2 spaces away from where they want to go. This has happened before, and that is the best way for them to get there. But they're moving through enemy territory, or not enemy, but a player territory. And I don't think they move through player territories. In our last game, that was an NPR realm. So this army movement is bunk. They are not taken into consideration where they have to do this type of movement. Bots ignore mountains. They must remove 1 from neutral areas and may not move into neutral areas where they have. See, if it does say it, it doesn't say it in the places that it's supposed to. So I guess they could move through a player. I mean, technically you could deny them access, military access, to move through your area. Which is what the Mamelukes would do, because this is a crusade. Why would they allow the Crusades to go through their area? But I don't see any rules that state that. Like any PR army, but must end its movement. So we got to check what the PR movement rules are, because maybe I hate it when they do that. And people on Board Game Geek defend this. Just repeat the dang rule. I would say it's under military actions, which is 16. To enter a neutral, you must first gain military access. See page 25. Movement. An army unit may move up to 2 spaces, but must end its movement if it enters a hostile, neutral, or distant area. The neutral one, that's news to me. It seems like a really weird rule. Into areas with at least 1 province whose lawful owner or controller is either friendly or your enemy. Only neutral provinces, you must be at war, and either remove 1 from the area in question or pay 3 ducats. Military access is not available in neutral areas, but you have a claim. If opponents own every province in a neutral area, you may not move troops into that area without verbal permission from those opponents. So the question is, do the opponents let you move through the area? So then you come back to this. So does a bot let army movement go through their area? So we have to look at these rules here. I think for the purpose of moving the game forward, I'm going to say yes, that the bot allows them to move, gives them military access. Because, goodwill or, anything that takes down the Ottomans is going to help them. It's that kind of mentality. So we're going to just say yes. So Castile's going to do that, and then they're done. Their army is just going to be stranded in, they're visiting Israel. here, and they're done. Okay, so now it gets to us. We have 1 cube each. I don't have this to do a... If I did a trade action, I only have 1 merchant available. And then, of course, other merchants could use this. When I traded here, I need to be mindful that this merchant can move over and join us. I never play as Denmark, so that's why I maybe forgot to do that. So I think I'm nearing my end, is where I'm going with this. So I want to do the event, and I am going to choose this one, which is going to give me 2, 4, 6, 8 ducats. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going to choose the Polish one, and we're not going to help them. So Poland rejects their ruler. They gain 2 cubes, a royal marriage with an adjacent NPR, and a claim in an area adjacent to the gained marriage. And then I gain 1 cube. And we can also discard this card because it's worthless. So I gain a cube, a military. They gain 2 cubes, so I'm helping them in their battle against the Ottomans. They're going to gain a royal marriage with somebody adjacent to them. And I'm just going to roll the die and use their diplomatic chart. So we're going to go here, do a 1. Owner of Silesia, whoever that is. So Silesia, the hardest part sometimes is finding these. And my son knows these better than I do. Right here. That is Bohemia. Because it's a vassal. See the little shield there? Silesia is a vassal of Bohemia. So they're going to gain a royal marriage with Bohemia. That's actually pretty cool on their part. And then they're going to gain a claim against somebody adjacent to them. And I'm not going to roll against the military chart. We're just going to do the letters. So Bavaria, Brandenburg, and then Austria. So they gain a claim. Well, actually, let's just stay consistent, right? We'll roll. Let's see who's even adjacent. The owner of Silesia, Prussia, Red Ruthenia, and Crimea. I don't think any of those are adjacent. Prussia is not adjacent to Bohemia. So none of those count. So let's just go one deeper. Pomerania, which is this. Bohemia, which is actually who they've already targeted. Estonia. Moldavia, which is way down here. White Ruthenia, Western Ukraine, East, all those are out. Let's keep going down the Bohemia path, because they want to pick something next to Bohemia. So I'm going to roll a die here. Because here you can see Brandenburg is 1. Gotland is not next, or I'm sorry, Royal Hungary is next to them, and Transylvania is not next to them. So it's going to be Brandenburg or Royal Hungary. So let's roll. I need a 1-2 or a 3-4. There we go, 3-4. Royal Hungary. So Poland is going to gain a claim right here. Royal Hungary, because that's next to Bohemia. It's also next to Poland, so it makes a lot of sense. Alright, that was our turn. And we got ourselves some nice pile of ducats. Now, here's what's interesting. If this coin leaves, look, this changes. It's pretty cool, but because of the physics and it falling over, it could fall out. So I like to do this. 1, 2, and then just add 2 back. Alright, so that was our turn. We go to Austria. 1,000,000 cubes for Austria. They've spent 9. They have 8, but they're at war, so they're going to keep going. Military. It is happening, folks. Oh my gosh. They're going to spend 2 cubes. They're going to recruit. And they are marching right back into the fray. And boom. They are back on the crusade again. This is glorious. Alright, they spent their 2 cubes to recruit, but they have to spend 2 cubes for the action as well. So they are getting lower on their cubes. Poland has 1,000,000 cubes. They get an unrest or a focus. I don't think the unrest matters. So they are going to focus. It's going to cost 1 cube and a Diplo. All these subjugates are coming out. Alright, so the focus is actually going to go into warfare, which will give them 1 cube back, because warfare gives them money. So let's go put this on the warfare one. Oh, they already have a warfare one claimed. So that changes things. They don't even get the 1 cube back. What they do instead is they just get 3 points for discovering this. They basically, if they get this a second time, they just get 3 points. Alright. Moscow passed. If they haven't passed, they should. And they will take the last ducat. Or not ducat, but cube. They already passed. These guys, I believe, passed. No. Oh, yeah, they actually have things to do. They have more. They're at war and they have more than 4 cubes. So they're going to do military, which is interesting because they already conquered their enemy. So that means they're going to find a new enemy. And they don't have any claims anywhere else. So we're going to roll a die for them. So interesting, this game. And I like that they put up here that he rolled a 4, so I don't even have to look. So we come down here to the Mamluk bot. Rolled a 4, and it's going to be Kurdistan, which they're currently in Kurdistan, right? They are, but there's another country here, Bitlis, another realm. So there's also Mosul, which is attached to Iraq. B is higher, so they're going to choose Bitlis. So we're going to declare war against them. And they still have double the army, so they don't do a recruit action, and they're just going to resolve the battle. So bing and boom, Bitlis is defeated. So they will have to siege next turn. Okay, Venice passed. Now we go to the Ottomans, who do have 2 cubes now. I don't remember how they got them. Oh, because the Ottomans passed. They don't do anything. France is down to 1 cube. They will do their defend action. And yes, they are going to march over and defeat our army. Because there's nothing to stop them now from doing that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All they have to do is hit once. And they do. So we're defeated. We roll 1, 2, 3. We hit them once. And then France gains a cube for winning that battle. And our army is defeated. So it was supposed to do its job. It technically did its job, but too late, too little too late. I have 1 military cube which could let me move here, but so does France. So they can move and defend it. It's not going to do me any good. I think I'm just going to have to accept that I'm losing these. Nothing's going to save me now. Castile is down to 1 cube. They actually are passing in the middle of nowhere. But that's the way it works. They did not complete their objective. So then it goes to us. I think we are also going to pass. I need to play my advisor, because I would like to make sure I get extra cubes. That does cost me 1 ducat. And I do have this military cube, folks, but yeah, can't do anything about it. I'm gonna gain 4 towns and I'm gonna lose 3. So not a huge gain for us, but that does reduce my tension with France quite a bit. Okay, I think I'm passing, which doesn't get me any ducats or anything, which that's the part I don't like about it. So I pass. Austria still has a lot of cubes. They are going to siege 1, 2, 3, 4. And just like that, Austria is a boss. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 all go away. Ottomans just turned into the wimpiest wimps. And then Austria just turned into a powerhouse. My gosh, that was a very successful crusade. Okay, very well done. They are out of cubes though. Poland still has a lot of cubes left. And there it is, military. So they're going to spend 1 cube, 1 card, and then they're going to spend 2 cubes because they need to recruit. Let's get this out of there. Take their army, and they're going to march in to here, and there's nothing to stop them. I guess they could march into here. That has the best value. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's what they would do. Okay, pass. They're less than 4 cubes, so they're passing. So we have 7 pass, so now everybody only gets 1 more action. So we go to France. Their final action, they only have 1 cube left. There's nothing to defend against, so France is passing. Then we have Austria, who has no cubes, so they're passing. Then Poland is actually going to siege. Now here's the interesting question. Who do they siege? Both of these have 2. If they siege Constantinople, technically they will because it begins with a C and this begins with an E. They're actually liberating the Orthodox country, which is so fascinating. Now, if they would have sieged Edirne, or however you pronounce that, what would have happened is they would have gained 4 cubes because they took the capital. They get 4 cubes as part of the peace treaty because they have to give the capital back. So by freeing up Constantinople, the Ottomans are not only going to lose here, they are going to white piece this, and they're going to end up white piecing that, and they're going to lose points for... Oh my gosh, they're losing so many points. This is insanity. Okay, I'm having fun. This is so much fun. Alright, that brings us to the end. Everybody's taken their turn. We don't have to resolve the last card because there was nothing on it. And so now we just got to go through the events. I need to pause, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started. Okay, let's get started here. There are no casus belli or truces to remove because this is the first round. NPR invasions happen. Now this gets interesting because this NPR is completely untouched. So they are indeed going to invade, and it's half their tax base. Plus, they create, I think it's 2 or 3 unrest. So let's check it. Page 36. So what they're going to do is they're going to cause unrest in this area. Whatever area they attack is where the unrest is going to occur. Since the NPR is inside of the same area as Ottomans, they're going to attack back and cause the unrest. So let's show you here, page 36. So 3 conditions. NPR is not an active ally of any player realm. None of the areas where the NPR currently controls provinces contain units that are hostile to them. And at least one eligible invasion target is adjacent. All those are true. So then what's going to happen is they're going to pick, and if there's 2 or more, they do this priority. They pick the capital area, the area with the most NPR's core provinces, which is its own area. An area adjacent by land, and then random. So in that area, 2 towns go to unrest, and then half their tax value gets placed there as rebel units. And if there's any battle, it gets resolved immediately. And from that point forward, they count as rebel units. So it's just going to be a single rebel unit that's going to come out for Karamandu, and it's going to be right here in this area. And then unrest and unrest. The Ottomans are just getting crushed right now. That I did not think that the Crusade would ever do anything, and they're getting crushed. Okay, so that happens. Then Constantinople fights back. So again, they're going to choose the area that has... now this is the part that's going to get wonky. Because if they choose this area, Poland is going to end up fighting the rebels. Because the rebels don't have allegiance to any particular nation. And these already have unrest on them. And so we would just choose... Remember, it's an adjacent area or its own is what it chooses. But its own area is also down here in Greece. So we're going to flip Greece over. And it does say they would prefer the capital. So the problem is there's nothing to flip there. How would we do this? Ideally speaking, per the rules, they would go here. And then Poland's going to end up absorbing and helping the Ottomans. Whereas if they choose this one, the rebels are actually going to win. That's the part that hurts. So this is now a 3 tax base. This is 4, and that's 4.5. So it goes up. So 4.5 divided by 2 is 2 and some change. And so you always round up. They're going to generate 3 rebel units. So I'm going to go by the pure rules. They're going to choose the capital. And let's make sure that that really is. But I think that's what we read. The NPR's own capital area. Yeah. They're going to do that. And then 1, 2, 3 is going to... Actually, I'm not even going to bother pulling the 3 out. Poland has to fight 3 guys. So that happens right now. And it's funny because Poland's the one that liberated them. But it's just how the game works. 1, 2, 3. So 2 hits on Poland. They lose 2 of their army. But the rebellion gets squashed. And that stinks because the rebellion could have done massive damage to the Ottomans there. Massive. I mean, that would have put 2 more rebellion towns down. That would have been insane. But not to be. And you know what? They wouldn't even be in this situation if it wasn't for the Polish. So, not going to complain. Alright, so I think that's it for that situation. Now we move to... Because every other NPR has been... Technically, these guys should not have passed. They would have sieged. And they do have 1 cube to pull that off. So my apologies there. So this war is against all of these guys. Okay, who else? I think that covers everybody. So now we do Rebels Siege or Move. So the only rebel on the board is this one. And they are going to siege the big town. Okay, then we do Peace Resolution. So let's start with Moscow. they are going to come to peace with them. They score 1 point for taking one area. So they're on the board. Now, they get an option to remove their claim, to remove 2 unrest. And I'm pretty sure they always remove their claim. In fact, I don't know if there's a situation where they don't. And we can see that here in peace resolution. So they score the tax income. If the enemy still exists, they go to the truce side. Otherwise, they remove claims from the area where the Ba'at now owns all the provinces. But see, they don't own all the provinces, so the claim stays. So that's what happens here. So yeah, their claim stays. That's the thing I wanted to check. I thought they were at war with multiple, but I guess it was just one. Yeah. Denmark wasn't at war with anybody. Poland technically didn't take anything. Austria is going to get all 4 of these. They do not have a claim, but Austria does get 4 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the Ottomans get a claim in that area because they want to take their towns back. Keep going. We have Venice. They gained 2. So they get 2 points. And there are still realms in the area, so they don't remove the unrest. Okay, so that claim stays. But they score 2 points. Okay. The Ottomans are at war with Venice. And nobody took any territory from each other, so they wipe peace. So Venice loses a point, and the Ottomans lose a point. Where are you, Ottomans? Okay. Constantinople is going to wipe peace. And so is Kastamonu. So that's going to cause the Ottomans to go back to 0, and now they're going to be at -1 point. And there are truce tokens all across the board here. Hopefully we can just remember, because I don't really want to put truce tokens out everywhere. Castile has to wipe peace. So Castile loses a point. And the Ottomans lose another. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually put the negative over on this side. Because there's no way they have -32 points. So we're just going to move it up this side, so it's just easier to manage. Okay, so Castile white peaced. Poland, technically Poland took territory, but it's now a white peace. So Poland loses a point, as does them. And then, of course, Austria did not white peace. They actually took territory, so they lost their tax value there. Okay, what else do we got? Austria never did anything with this, so they lose 3 points. France is peacing with us. Okay, and they're not taking their claim back. So they have 3 unrest, and they score 3 points though. Where is France? Oh, they never scored yet. So they just scored 3. And then we remove France's alliance with Scotland, because Scotland is no more. These 2 cubes go away. And we are going to pull our claim back. And our war token back. And we are absolutely taking those 4 territories. We don't get the score points though because, you know, the bots cheat. Okay, I think that covers all of the battles. That was a lot. A lot of battles. That was super cool, actually. All right, so basically, Ottoman's a peace treaty with just about everybody in the world. France and I have a peace treaty, and I'm not going to put out all the tokens. This module does not have treaty tokens, so it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to set all that up. We're just going to move on. Okay, the NPR bot always, or I'm sorry, the bot always rolls a die to see if they move up or down the royal track. That 4 is not double their current value of 3, so they stay where they are. It's not half either. I know that was a little out of order, but I always forget to do that, so that's why I'm doing it now. So let's keep going. We finished the peace resolution. Oh, wrong one. Prestige penalties. That was the -3 points for the royal marriage. I already did that for Austria. Any other prestige penalties is going to happen to the Ottomans because they have a town currently occupied by somebody else. And so it's a tax value of 2. So they lose 2 more points. They are just getting trounced. Technically, we don't lose any points because we lost our town in the peace treaty. So there's no other towns occupied by other people. Keep going. Religious dissent. I don't have any. France won't have any. Spain does, right here in Andalusia. And this is an interesting one. This is considered Orthodox, so Venice does in Crete. The Ottomans for sure do in Greece. Austria can't get any more. Oh, we got one more war to resolve. The Mamluks actually get to... they're going to remove their claim. So the Mamluks get to flip this over. They actually gain 3 points. Okay, so do we have any religious different stuff going on? That's Muslim. They're fine. Poland always gets hit. Moscow should be fine. Denmark is fine. So basically, Venice, Poland, Castile, and the Ottomans all got hit. So next, we gain or remove unrest based on ideas and roll rebel dice. So the idea thing, Castile has 1 admin, 1 diplo, and then the Austrians have 1 mill. So let's fix the mill. The Austrians actually would have rolled an extra die, so I may have screwed them up a little bit there in their battles. And then Castile has this situation, so Castile actually removes 1 unrest automatically, so they are fine. And now we roll rebel dice. So the Mamluks are solid. Austria has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 restores. They lose a cube, and they have a rebellion. So they don't lose any cubes. The one that restores is interesting. They're going to choose their highest tax area, which would be here. So they choose Izmir, and then the rebellion would actually be in the lowest tax area, which is there. So this happens for them. So yeah, you would think that they would actually core this, but that's not the case. So I gotta make sure, did they get a claim in this area when they went to war? They get a free declare war action. They place a tag chit uncommitted to Crusade. They each score 2 if there are no provinces owned by Muslim realms left there. Otherwise, they each lose 2. Yeah, it doesn't say they get a claim. The claim is this, the Crusade. Okay, so Austria's done. The Ottomans are going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. So they lose a cube and they get rebels. So where will the rebellion occur for them? It would occur down here. And following the new rules clarification, that happens. Okay, let's keep going. Poland gets 1. They get a rebellion. By the way, the Polish army would be gone now that peace is resolved. Moscow gets 2. They're going to lose a cube. Denmark is fine. Venice has 1, 2, 3 of them. Venice loses a cube. Mamluks are fine. Castile's fine. France. Oh, this flips, by the way, because I removed my claim, so we don't have any. France has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And we want some revolutions here, folks. None of them. Oh my goodness. Alright, so France loses a cube. And this is the higher tax area, so they will gain that back. We need rebel dice to roll here. So, can I do a spy? I think I need a spy network card. That's the only time I can think of a spy network card actually being useful. Okay, I think we're done. No interregnum. We did this, we did this, we did this. Okay, it's time to do our income, but I'm going to do that last. We're going to collect the score the prestige. So the papal controller is, I believe, Castile, so they're going to score 3 points. And yeah, you can verify that here. So they score 1, 2, 3. Done. And then the Crusades happen. So the Crusades actually succeeded, amazingly enough. So Castile scores 2 more. Actually, Poland scores 2. Castile scores 2. Austria scores 2. They actually went up. Well done, guys. And I'm just going to keep these little tokens here in this area for now. Then we do regular cleanup. So, for example, our merchant stands back up. And then we'll have to do manpower, all that stuff. So, let's start with ourselves and figure out our costs. Our advisors are 2, 4, 5. I have 2 armies, so that's 7. And then I pay 1 for every 2 navy. So here's 1, and then this rounds up to 2. So I'm up to 9. My stability is still 0. Everything else is cool. So I pay 9 ducats. I'm going to make 13 plus 4 is 17 ducats. So 9 plus 8 is 17, so I get 8 ducats. 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. So that was a good round for us. And then we actually completed dominate the British Isles because we own all provinces in Scotland, we score 3 points. So that happens. 1, 2, 3. And we gain a Diplo cube for that. And build up to 4 light ships at 2 ducats each. Now, technically, that would have been before we gained our 8 ducats, but it doesn't matter. I had plenty of ducats. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And I am going to build all 4 light ships. So I definitely want a third one in the English Channel. I want a second one in the Eastern Atlantic. And I think I'm going to put 2 in Doggerbank, like so. So now we could use the North Sea if we need to. But really, these are just setting us up to... the English Channel is going to be dominated by us for money, but we're going to set up for exploring the New World. So that's excellent. And by finishing this quest, it unlocks 3A, 3E, 2B, and 2D. So this is unlocked, for example. It unlocks 3A, 3E, 2B, and 2D. So 2D, 2B, and 3A. I think we did 3E as well. So these are not unlocked. All of these are. So this one, of course, is we have to invade France and take more territory there. That's why I haven't gone after those. This is form Great Britain, so I need Ireland, Scotland, Northumbria, Wales, Wessex, and East Anglia, and have 2 large towns in these areas. 2 or more large towns. And I have to be at peace. I don't have Ireland yet, so I'm close though. Maritime Empire, have more heavy ships than any opponent. I need a minimum of 3. And have light ships adjacent to 5 nodes, which I do have that. And then this one is colonize, which I'm not ready for. And that's Protestant stuff, which I'm not ready for. Now, the Admiralty is also available to us. Have 2 heavy ships and 4 light ships, which I currently have in my hand. So what I'm going to take is Maritime Empire. So if I hire 3 heavy ships, I'm going to accomplish both of these at the same time. Now, one of the things I want to do is I want to explore America, because I don't see any value in gaining a claim in Andalusia. I know the whole theme here is Gibraltar, but who cares? But if I can gain a territory with an opponent town adjacent to one of my ships. Territory is a very key word, meaning it has to be one of these. And these are towns. So for example, I can just straight up take Central America or Mexico if I have a ship there. Or if I go down to Africa, I can get Congo or one of these. And these are large towns. These are very valuable. So we want to make sure we do that. But we need Quest for the New World. And then, like I said, have 3 heavy ships, and then boom and boom, we're gonna be cooking with Pam. Okay, so that finishes that piece. So we gained our money. Now we're going to refresh our manpower. It's going to be 3. These 3 stay behind. And we gain our monarch cube. So our leader is just a crappy 1 plus 1. So we gain 2 cubes. This is 1 plus 2. So we're going to gain 3 cubes. And then a 1 plus 2. So we gain 3 cubes here. Quest for the New World can be done with 5 cubes. I do have this, which lets me grab Quest for the New World for just 2 and 2. I may do that. I'm not going to gain extra points because somebody already has it, but it doesn't matter. The bureaucracy is very nice because I just made 20 some ducats before expenses. This would have added 2 more, and then I get 2 more, 1 for every 10. So I would have gained 4 more ducats It's very much worth taking. And if you ever start as a minor nation, this is the most valuable one you could take early game. And then, of course, we want this. We actually want a lot of these, but they take a lot of cubes. And right now we have the crappiest leader, Henry VI. And we didn't get our War of the Roses, which means we're going to have to deal with some unrest coming up soon. We have our claim on Ireland. In order to take Ireland, I need a navy. Those heavy ships, I need them. And because otherwise I'm going to deal with a naval battle here against two. And I don't want to sink my ships. The light ships, one hit and they're done. A heavy ship absorbs a hit. So they're like battleships in Axis and Allies. They take 2 hits to sink. So these two, if they're going up against 2 or 3 heavy ships, they could do 1 hit each, and then they don't sink anything on my part. And then my heavy ships do an automatic hit each time, so I don't even have to roll. Boom, boom, their navy's dead. And as long as I don't put a navy here, I don't have to even fight that port. So Ireland is very doable. It's just, ideally you want a navy first. So I don't know what the right order is. Do we get the navy first, or do we get exploring first? The answer is I want to do both, because the navy, I need to get rid of this too. And with heavy ships, those are easy to take out. It just costs me a cube. So I have a lot to do, Scooby-Doo, and let's keep going. Now, I do skip all this maintenance stuff, but basically, one of them was the exhausted. We would lose alliances with bots if they have more than 10 income. And then the Emperor gets to do stuff, and that's it. We discard down to 5 cards if we had more than 5, and we don't. So now let's just do the maintenance for the bots. So I did figure out a trick. So here I know I need 7 cubes out of this. So what I'm going to do is select them all and do this. I can do it in several different ways, but I'm going to do it like this. And so here you can see there's 3, 6, and then I'm just going to select. There you go. There's our 7 cubes. Now their manpower changes to 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I get 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Nope, just 2. Because they had 8 here. And they get +3 because they're being the Emperor. Oh, we got to do their cards as well. So the event goes back, the idea goes back. 2 of these cards go back, 1 gets lost, shuffle. So here, same deal. 3, 6, 7, and they have 5, 6. Two stay, 2 go. And shuffle. Moscow. One stays, 1 goes. They have 7 manpower. Stay at 7. Denmark. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes already, and they're getting 7 more for 13. So we pick it up, we do this. 3, 6, 9, 12. They actually get 1 more. 13. And they have 5, 7 manpower. So they get 2 more. One stays, 1 goes. Alright, the Mamluks are powerful. Holy cow. They keep 2 cubes, so they're going to have 9. 3, 6, 9. So those go. 7 plus 3 is 10. Yeah, they're going to be tough to fight against, that's for sure. As far as cards go, they keep 3. They lose 2. Venice has 4. Plus 7 makes it 11. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 1 cube goes away. And then 6 armies. Gaining 2 armies was huge for them. And they're going to keep 2 and lose 1. Coming around the Ottomans. They have 1, so they're going to keep 8. 3, 6. And here's 8. They have 6 manpower, so they lose 2. They just got crushed. Oh, come on. Alright, they're going to keep 2, discard 1, and shuffle. Now we go to France with their 1,000,000 cubes. They keep 7. They have 10 manpower. So they just became more powerful. They're going to be harder for us to beat. So they keep 2. They lose the other 2. And Castile, they're going to keep 8. Six stays. Keep 2. The other 2 are gone. I don't remember if I shuffled them, so I'll shuffle them one more time. Okay, so everybody's caught up. We're ready for a new round. And that, of course, will start with us drawing cards, paying for them. And I need to get up to 30 ducats because I want to buy 3 heavy ships to complete some missions. I also would like to explore the New World. There's a lot for me to do, and not a lot of cubes. If I go the way I think I'm going to go, I'm pretty darn sure I'm going to not make it very far. I'm going to be probably getting 5 ducats for passing early. Because when you spend 5 cubes all in one go, that's a lot. But we'll see. Thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome and stay healthy and safe.